Welcome back to my annual Oscar series where I talk about all the Oscar categories except for the short film ones. I rank all the nominees per category according to who I think deserves to win the Oscar, then I make a prediction for who I think will win each Oscar. Now we're going to be talking about the rest of the major awards, so starting off with Best Original Screenplay. And the nominees are Hell or High Water, Taylor Sheridan; Lalaland, Damien Chazelle; The Lobster, Yorgos Lanthimos and Efthimis Philippou; Manchester by the Sea, Kenneth Lonergan; and 20th Century Women, Mike Mills. Now this is what a perfect set of nominees looks like. I would not change this list in any way. I have no complaints. All of these movies are completely deserving. In any other year, any of these movies would have won, I think. They are all so great. So I will attempt to rank these if that was even possible, if that was even fair. So in terms of who I think should win, at 5th place I'm going to give it to 20th Century Women, which already, right off the bat, has a brilliant screenplay that works simultaneously as like a time capsule to the late 70s, but more importantly it works as this really intricate and thorough 5-way character study. This whole film really is just about these 5 different characters from very different backgrounds attempting to connect with each other. And among all the nominees for screenplay this year, 20th Century Women arguably has the best character work because you get to know these people so intimately and so well, and like through different lenses and from the points of view of every other character, that you really just feel like you know them, you understand them, and you get their flaws. And I feel like any of these characters could be protagonists in their own movies. It's a movie that deals with very complex themes and definitely talks a lot about feminism and masculinity, and it's just really fascinating to watch and listen to. Now, at 4th place, I'm going to give it to The Lobster, and it says a lot about this list of nominees when my number 4 is already one of my favorite screenplays ever. I just love The Lobster. Like, it has such a genius premise of, you know, this dystopian world where if you're single, you get turned into an animal after a few days if you don't find a partner. I think that's so funny and that's great. It's a genuinely hilarious movie all the way through. I was really laughing at everything and how deadpan the humor was. But at the same time, when you look back to The Lobster and you think about those funny moments, they're really messed up, they're really dark, and they're really scary. But the screenplay really rides that line so well that you don't even notice it. The film is, of course, a skewering of modern relationships, but somehow it does it in a way that's fresh and in a way that does not really dictate its message to us. Now, at 3rd place, I'm going to give it to La La Land. Among the nominees here, La La Land has the simplest story, definitely, but it like the execution is just amazing. What it gets right is that it understands that in order for a romance to work, you have to have 2 great characters, and Mia and Sebastian are extremely endearing people who you understand, who are flawed in certain ways that you are allowed to oppose, but you get them anyway and you do root for the relationship because their love is the type of romance that is built on wanting the best for the other person. It's very selfless. And only after the film did I realize that this was like the first romance I had seen in God knows how long where it never really shows them being sexually intimate. And for a film to pull that off is really impressive, especially in this day and age where a lot of people just sort of demand to see that sort of thing as proof. But La La Land also has a great sense of setting. It understands LA and it understands the arts and it understands what pursuing that line of work can cost you in your personal life. And it just has so much heart and humor and wit about it, and I just love everything about La La Land and I connect to it the most among all of these nominees. Now, at 2nd place, I'm going to give it to Hell or High Water. Hell or High Water's script is one that gets better the more I think about it, because what this movie is that it's a western about the end of westerns. It takes a very classic type of story but adds so much nuance to it that it really kind of reinvents it, because it is about a couple of bank robbers, but the reason why these guys are robbing banks is such a good, smart reason that makes sense for their characters and for the time they live in. And like I've mentioned before in previous videos, what I love so much about Hell or High Water, what took me by surprise, was its character work. The 3 main characters here, played by Jeff Bridges, Chris Pine, and Ben Foster, are so good because they are slowly revealed to be very similar to each other, even if at first it seems like they're worlds apart. And it is a very funny movie as well. All these nominees are very funny, by the way, but Hell or High Water, like, Jeff Bridges, whenever he opens his mouth, it's gold. Ben Foster has a lot of really funny moments as well. And again, what's so great about these characters is that they illustrate how this story is about these people trying to hold on to a way of life that is slowly slipping away and that's out of their control, and they just want to have some sort of normalcy even if it costs them dearly. And I think it's a really great, timely story for this day and age. And finally, at first place, the film that I think deserves to win this Oscar is Manchester by the Sea. This is one of the best scripts ever written, I think. It perfectly captures the nuances of and the awkwardness of real life, but it does it in such a way that is so riveting and that is so accessible. Whereas a lot of dramas might feel the temptation to drop in a bunch of money lines and really just have those moments of melodrama that are like, whoa, like that could never happen in real life, but you know, it tugs on the heartstrings, so that's why you like it. Manchester by the Sea, it's just so natural, and like the strongest lines are the simplest lines, you know, just no spoilers, but when Lee Chandler, played by Casey Affleck, says something like, there's nothing there, or he says something like, I can't beat it, like those moments are so strong because they don't really tell the audience what exactly is being referred to, but because the character work is so strong, because the dialogue is so strong, you understand exactly what's happening. You key into their world and you understand what's happening through Lee's eyes. And what I love is that they bring out the character of Lee through his relationship to the place, Manchester by the Sea. And so it's great that they have that sort of relationship between setting and character. And of course, the way this film goes about its plot, the way it slowly reveals conflict, is done in such a staggering way, because when you begin to discover why things are the way they are, you are just floored. And I was just left speechless. I was thinking, man, like that's a really good reason to kind of be a jerk. It's a really emotionally taxing film. It's searing at times, but at the same time, it's a really funny movie as well, but not in a funny, like, yuck way. It's funny in that the humor arises naturally from the situations and from the characters, and again, it just feels like real life. There are moments of humor sprinkled throughout our real life, and this movie captures that perfectly. It's a movie that is about grief, yes, but I also think it's a movie that is about life despite grief and learning to admit your weaknesses, and I think that's super important. And in terms of who I think is going to win this Oscar, I think it's going to go to Manchester by the Sea. Lalaland has the most Oscar hype, but I think most people don't see it as a writer's film, whereas they definitely see Manchester by the Sea as a writer's film. Right, so those are my thoughts on Best Original Screenplay. What do you think of the nominees? Who do you think will win? Who do you think should win? Whatever you guys think, whether you agree with me or not, please leave me a comment. Let's have a conversation.